All right, Howard, do you want to kick off and then I'll drive through the deck?
Sure. Yeah. So I think that RAIYA Voice is probably the most transformational tool that we've ever launched. And we've launched a lot of shit. So we've had RAIYA texting for, I can't believe it, but upwards of 5 years now. I mean, I think about RAIYA like it was just released yesterday. And according to the crew, like we've been working on it for 5 years. And for those that have been on RAIYA texting for a long time, you will know for a fact that it, started here and it's gone here. It's just gotten better and better and better. That's what machine learning does. It keeps learning. New conversations keeps learning. New conversations keeps learning. And it's building this model, which is completely unique to us. We're the ones that have it. And so therefore our clients are the only ones that have it. So as I've explained, and as I am explaining on stage, when I'm on stage now talking about AI, when RAIYA 4 years ago had someone said, like, this is a really bad time to talk about real estate. My dog just went to the vet and is, like, they were like, oh, sorry, like our RAIYA texting didn't even know how to respond to that, right? Then level two, for anyone that said anything with negative sentiment about something bad or sad that happened to them, we at least got RAIYA to be able to say, sorry to hear that, let's talk at another time. Now it's at the point where we're very, very specific with the latest version of RAIYA texting and the latest version of ChatGPT infused, where if they say, hey, I've got a disability, now RAIYA can say, how does your disability impact the home that you're looking for? So with specificity, it just keeps getting better. So it's a stupid example, but I use it over and over again because it shows the progression of it learned what to do generically, then it learned what to do very specifically. And this is the progression we're going to go on with AI voice. But what we have found is that with voice, like we literally can get more people on the phone for you guys. So AI voice, which is going to blow you away when you hear it, is not here to replace you. AI voice is here to get consumers on the phone with you. That's it. It's only two results that AI voice, like, I don't want you to ever think like, oh, it's going to just talk to them for me. Like, no, it's just can get in touch with everybody, right? First new leads, then it's going to be your whole database. And it's going to be this full contact game that you don't have time for. Like, you don't have time for this or the staff, right? With the thousands of dollars to have like your own call center, okay, to have this full-time contact that you need to stay in front of everybody at all times. And the voice is just going to constantly drive people, right, to either a live transfer or an appointment. Those are the two results: live transfer or an appointment. And I guarantee you, like, every one of my clients who we love dearly has said, you know what? I'd rather be drowning in appointments than drowning in leads. Like, write that down. Like, I'd rather be drowning in appointments than drowning in leads. And that's what all of this AI is about. And I think you guys are with the one company where AI texting can work hand in hand with AI voice in concert. So one knows what the other is doing and one doesn't step on the toes of the other. They work together, which is why we call it RAIYA. Texting RAIYA plus RAIYA voice is RAIYA squared. It's like an exponential lift of helping you stay in 100% full contact and generating appointments, not just leads. So that's where we're going. I have never been more excited about anything other than Maverick. I love Maverick too, but and then Ylopo 2.0, which we're talking about, very soon. I love all of it, but where we are now, which is why, like, that is my number one presentation that I'm doing on stage. AI, just transformational in terms of saving you time and making you more money. That's it.
Yeah. So before I get started, a lot of familiar faces here. Obviously, I did want you to all meet Jay on our team, one of our senior marketing consultants. Jay is here because, he has talked to literally hundreds of clients over the last couple of months about their systems, their technology, using RAIYA Voice. He's been on the front lines of that and inspecting clients' CRMs and pipeline, right? Because a lot of what we're doing here is trying to make what you guys do better. And first we have to understand what you guys are already doing. And Jay has a lot of insight into that, like boots on the ground, right? So welcome, Jay. Excited to have you here. So, you know, with AI, you guys have all heard this. We're going to generate engaged leads, more prospects more efficiently than we have ever before. And we're going to show you how we do that, right? The first is RAIYA has been an AI product for 4+ years now, right? We've sent 70, just in the last 3 years, we've sent 70 million text messages, engaged millions of leads. And RAIYA has gotten better and better to the point where 37% of all RAIYA leads that are not opt out, like leave me alone, opt out, ends up in a ready for follow-up stage, right? You guys have seen those ready for follow-up leads. They are people who say, call me, you know, I'm ready to schedule, etc. And less than 0.4% of RAIYA conversations do consumers at this point ask, like, is this AI, right? It's very humanistic is the way I would position it. And, you know, even with RAIYA, it's gone consistently better. And I was hoping I could show you a video of that even today, but I will show you tomorrow. But the way we build RAIYA is that it always leverages the current technology, right? Like right now, today, it's ChatGPT, you know, 4. Tomorrow will be ChatGPT 5. Then it'll be Google Bard. Who knows, right? But whatever the latest technology, we're leveraging it. We incorporated ChatGPT 4 into our technology stack, which yielded a great conversations. I won't kind of belabor the point, but you're going to see a version tomorrow that you won't believe is even better, right? And that's, you know, how fast the progression is from like May to today in terms of how texting is changing, and you're going to see that happen on the voice side even more.
Well, before you move to the next point regarding RAIYA, and the fact that she's converting in a way that the rest of the industry's never seen AI convert. What I thought was fascinating, and our users would appreciate, is Gabe and I, early AI, we would have to tell the robot exactly what to say, right? That was the iteration. And the way that the technology has advanced, Gabe and I now are teaching concepts and principles to the robot. So instead of saying, say XYZ, we're telling people how, or we're telling the mindset and the style and the general approach. And those of you that train salespeople will understand and appreciate this, that there's phases of learning. There's say this exact thing, right? Copy the script. And then as the salesperson matures, you're able to teach them concepts that they're able to apply. And it's been fascinating to watch this evolution happen so quickly, and the conversion speaks for itself.
Yeah. And you're training it once, right? Or to one person, one entity. It's not retraining each time it's a new person or new ISA.
100%. Yeah. And generating these conversations are great, but we want to make it usable for you, right? More and more usable, right? And so as an example, on the follow-up boss side, we are integrating RAIYA directly into the Follow Boss inbox. So you're going to be able to see every conversation laid out right in your inbox, be able to respond to it, take it over, and it's going to be a centralized place, right? And we've already seen, you know, with Barry and Gabe and others testing it, that it dramatically improves your workflow. We've added a widget on the right-hand side of every single lead, so you see what's turned on, turned off, how do you turn back on. Really, my team deep dives into how do you use RAIYA better, right? And this is the result. So this is something that will be released to you guys, you know, definitely by the end of the year. We're going to start rolling it out in a couple of weeks here as soon as some work gets done with FUB. But bottom line is that texting is very powerful, right? But we found that we can tee up these ready for follow-up leads, but someone still has to call them to set the appointment, right? And so calling is incredibly important. And, you know, roughly what we're seeing is that 25% of all RAIYA conversations, including the non-opt-outs, everything results in ready for appointment signals. But when we call these leads and get them on the phone, 50% of those voice conversations lead to a live transfer or appointment, right? It just goes to show you can text. Some people respond that way, but you got to call as well, right? It's a combination of both. And what we're seeing in the industry is that, frankly, not enough calls are being made, right? Like we track on the stats side, every call every agent makes. You can see this data in a follow-up us. And on average, our clients are only making 1.2 calls in the first 30 days to Ylopo new leads, right? We see on our own call center, on all the calls we're doing, hundreds of thousands of calls, that it takes 7 calls to make a quality connect, not even a transfer, but just a quality connection with a consumer, right? So you guys are basically like 1.2 calls, guys, 8%. 8% of the people that you are calling are going to pick up. That's it, right? So you're missing on all of the downstream 92% of people that could pick up because you're only making one dial, right? Jay, do you have any commentary on this?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, as she was saying, I meet with hundreds of clients per month, and this is a scary page to see. And a lot of agents that I talk to, they're surprised to see how many call attempts are actually happening. And this is really just the proof is where. So the safety net is essentially what this is going to be, and it's a really beautiful thing to see. It's going to increase the accountability, and in a time where communication, content, and relationship building are key in this market, this is a really important factor this is going to address. And Barry, Gabe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel this will solve so many more pain points than just the actual calls, but also having to hire and train agents, ISAs to work leads consistently and effectively.
Yeah, I think 100%. We believe in the amount of calls, and we are seeing, even I'll speak to my own database, feeling like we were on top of it. The number of calls just weren't happening, right? And then you get to that balance of, well, should the agent be sitting there making more calls or out showing property, meeting with people? And it's hard to get that balance, right? You get this high and low. And so then it went to ISAs, but then it's the constant training, kind of back to what Barry was saying earlier, train it, hopefully they retain it, but then it's another one, another one, another one. People have days off. So it just, as we've been doing this, it's been insane to be able to get that dial up. And G was touching on this as well. Monitors, we just came off another call, literally to the day, how many calls in the day, monitoring the numbers, the answer rate, the transfer rate, and really getting it down. And I can see exactly where agents are giving up, right? That first or second call, if we're lucky sometimes. And then the percentage that if you just hit them enough times, where those transfers are coming from. And this solves all of that.
Yeah, totally agree, Gabe. This is such a problem that I bet most people watching this webinar right now think this whole thing is too good to be true, to be honest with you, because this is such a core, like, my agents aren't calling. ISAs, you train them, they get good, and then they become an agent because they're like, why am I doing this? It's this constant circle. So yeah, I don't want to get in the way too much because I want people to see the sizzle here as we go.
Yeah, 100%. So we've been at calling for 2 years now, and started Google LSA. We built a big call center. We learned from that call center, and now we have gone to RAIYA Voice, right? So let me kind of just show you kind of what has happened, right? So learnings from 200,000 calls in last year. You need to make more calls. The calls need to be quality. It needs to focus on the scripting, right? A human being calling these leads, even the highest trained, people make mistakes, right? Like changes the script, all that kind of stuff. How do you bring consistency in this? Trigger and cadence based. It can't just be calling. We call priority leads. We call RAIYA conversations. It's got to be based on other factors than just blind calling as well. And then also, last thing, agent team handoff matters, right? Like where a lot of platforms fall down, whether it's expensive ones or in-house, is that transition from the ISA to the agent, right? So we thought a lot about that process as well. So let me get to voice, right? So look, honestly, until about 6 months ago, we thought AI was great. We were going down a lot of crazy paths with video cloning and all this kind of stuff. But we didn't really believe that AI could work leads on a voice basis, right? I don't think anyone believed it at the time. And then we started experimenting with platforms that did this, and we started hearing conversations like this. So let me just play a conversation for you.
Hello?
Hey, Auntie Annette.
Yes, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How about you?
I'm doing good.
That's awesome to hear. So, Auntie Annette, I was going through our database and I wanted to check if you're still considering moving in the next 6-12 months.
Doing what in the next 12 months?
Oh, sorry if I wasn't clear. I meant to ask if you're still considering moving to a new home within the next 6-12 months. Are you still in the market for a new place?
I am.
That's great to hear, Auntie Annette. It's an exciting time to explore new homes. Can you tell me a bit about what you're looking for in a home? Any specific features or preferences?
Sure. Also, it's Antoinette.
Apologies for the misspelling, Antoinette. And thanks for letting me know. Now let's talk about your preferences for a new home.
So pretty incredible, right? Like the conversation, the voice quality, screwed up her name, corrected her name, things that frankly we just didn't think the technology was there for. We were already seeing amazing progress, right? But you guys heard the video. The voice was still not 100% there. There were, kind of obvious mistakes like the Antoinette type thing that could have been caught earlier. And so we were really impressed with this technology, but we felt like we got to go deeper and do better and create safeguards, right? And so I won't play the other conversation. Probably a lot of you've already heard it. But bottom line for us is we wanted, if we're going to release this product to our clients, right, we wanted to have consistent voice quality, best in class. We want to control every script that we say, doesn't deviate, and we want to improve the latency, right? Because right now, when you have conversations, there's kind of latency involved. And so we wanted full AI, but we also wanted control, right? And this is why we created the best of both worlds between AI and live call centers. We call it human-assisted AI, right? The idea behind this is that it's a full AI voice, full AI scripting, AI is working behind the scenes, but we have a human being sitting in front of a computer, I call it Matrix style, looking at all these conversations. And where there's a red alert, like a conversation is going off track, they take it over and they guide the conversation to the right spots, right? Let me show you some examples of that.
Hello.
Hi, Alicia.
Uh-huh.
Hi, I'm a digital assistant with Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate on a recorded line. I'm following up with you regarding the home search profile that you submitted. What is it that brought you to our website?
I'm actually planning on moving down to the coast. I'm not sure if I'm going to move to North Carolina coast or South Carolina coast.
Oh, okay.
But I was just looking to see what might be available when I decide to do this.
Awesome. What time frame did you have in mind?
I'm not really sure. I'm trying to sell my house in Charlotte right now.
I see.
And once I sell it, I'll be moving
Okay.
3 or 4 months. I mean, that's not on the market yet. By word of mouth, I've got a few people that I know that's interested in it. So I'm just holding out to see what they do. And if they don't give an answer soon, I'm going to put it on the market.
Oh, good. It seems that you have some decisions to make. We'd love to connect you with our realtor who can then strategize a game plan around possibly selling your home.
Okay.
Please hold on a minute just while I connect you, okay?
I appreciate it.
So you can see here the difference between voice quality, conversation quality, and latency, right? All with best practice scripting. Best part, live transfer to you, right? This is actually calling you in upon getting to the right agent and then transferring the lead to you, right? And this was a seller conversation that happened, right? And that is the quality of human-assisted AI, right? Let me play you one more conversation that I think is very instructive.
Hi, Logan.
It's Logan.
Oh, hi there. This is Jesse, a digital assistant with Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate on a recorded line. How are you doing today?
In all honesty, my friend had just sent me the house and the house I was looking at.
Okay.
And I had to go through all the steps. I just quickly had filled them out.
What did you think about the properties that you saw?
I personally like them.
Good.
I'm just starting out. I'm looking just for like a place I can like grab, fix it up, and then sell it.
Uh-huh. What time frame did you have in mind?
I'm not 100% sure, in all honesty. This is just kind of something new that I wanted to get into. I'm trying to get an idea of the market and everything.
Okay, yeah, I do understand. There are actually a lot of factors that you need to consider when buying a home, and we don't want to sell you a home right now. We'd love to connect you with our realtor who can strategize a game plan.
Yeah, exactly.
Please hold on a minute just while I connect you, okay?
Okay.
Please give me just a moment here.
So what I love about this conversation is I think this is kind of happy path, like most common conversation that you would have with pay-per-click or Google lead or Facebook leads, right? The just looking person, right? And I think this is the hardest conversation that in my experience, agents have, right? Because it's like, oh, it's just looking. Okay, call you back, right? And imagine having Gabe and Barry as your ISA. That's what's happening here, right? Because they wrote every stitch of this scripting. We have an AI train, or a ISA trainer as well that's listening to these conversations, listening to objections, listening to rebuttals, and they are programming this in once, right? And the bot just says it right from the get-go, right? And so it's not just about voice quality, it's American voice, obviously, all the latency, all this kind of stuff. It's about making sure that we have the right psychology going into every conversation, every rebuttal. And guess what? We're listening to these calls. Like, we're QAing all these calls and we're bubbling up to them. Hey, there's this objection we never dealt with. How do we deal with that, right? How do we change the script here? How do we change the script there? And what's going to happen is, over hundreds of thousands of conversations, eventually millions of conversations, this is just going to become a super bot, right? Like, how do you can't train a human being to be the repository of millions of conversations from an ISA perspective, right? This is what this bot is going to be. Barry, Gabe, any comments?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So the fascinating thing about this technology is that it's not to say that when I train my agents to say the same things that they'll never say it. I think if we're all being honest, one of our strengths as humans is we feel. The challenge with these phone calls is when we start to feel, we start to get nervous and we sound horrible. Whereas the AI has not been trained to be nervous. The AI has just been trained to listen to language and programmatically respond. And what you're hearing, and Gabe and I talk about this very often, is one of the best salespeople we have ever heard in our career. They are RAIYA is fantastic. And it's kind of mind-blowing, to be honest with you.
Yeah, what you said on that, Barry, as well. I'd like to just touch on this real quick. There's the margin of human error that is always going to be a factor when you have a human interaction. I was in call centers for 15 years and you had that too much sympathy versus empathy. You know what? Let me just address this for you. Get out of here as soon as possible. I'll set an appointment for you and just get out of here as soon as possible. I know you're sick. We're always going to have that with human interaction. AI is solving that issue on a very large scale.
Yeah, there are numerous calls. Like, we're hearing it, and I just like, I'm waiting for it as we're testing. It's like, oh man, not a good time. You caught her at the hospital, or you caught this. And it shocks me that, the AI, going to Jay's point, takes that emotion part out of it. Well, why have you? One more question. It has shocked me how many conversations continue even to scheduling appointments, to the point of what Barry was saying is we have started listening to these and playing them in our huddles, right? So we're listening to it. And what it is, and it's crazy because the agent's like, wow, you'll see the look on their face, right? All of a sudden they're like, I have missed so many opportunities because I would have ended there. I would have ended there, right? So it is that good to where we're now using it as proof to asking one more question, or phrasing it the way that we're saying will work and will lead to an appointment.
Yeah, last thing I'll say about this is like, and one of the questions that clients will ask me is like, oh wait, does this replace the agent? Does this replace all of the work, so to speak, right? And etc. And there's some fear around this technology. Well, I will tell you, our average conversation from a voice perspective is about 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Right? The average conversation post that is about 15 minutes, right? So we're doing a very small part of this, which is being very persistent, very scripted to get the appointment, right? But the relationship that's built with the consumer that's going to get them to be a client is done by the agent, right? So AI is here.
Let's just repeat that. Let's just repeat that. So a average 2-minute AI voice call, the average AI voice call, where there's in a conversation is 2 minutes, leads to that AI voice call leads to a 15-minute full-on real Ylopo client to real consumer conversation. That's the key thing. And, you know, look, we're trying to convince y'all to do this because this is a win-win, right? Like, let's cut to the chase. First off, not a huge risk here, right? Like, our mission here is that we can drive, like, if you're just talking about the old days of human ISAs and human call centers, the cost of doing AI voice is probably 1/10 the cost. It's 1/10 the cost. The goal of AI voice is to up your appointments by 10x, right? And honestly, like, we Ylopo are going to live and die with the results, because if it's true and we can 1/10 your cost of having full human beings trying to call and stay in touch with all your new leads, and eventually, like, or pretty soon, your entire database, and you're getting a lot more appointments, like, you're going to keep it. You're going to keep it. You're going to love it. And if it's not doing that, you're going to shit can it, right? And it's just not like, it's not we're not asking for a year commitment, and we're not, charging, thousands of dollars for it. Like, that's the bottom line. I would say this with one asterisk, which is, have some patience, knowing how RAIYA texting got better. Have some patience that this will go, right? We got to break some things a little bit, right? We're on the same page, right? We've got to go from, MVP to MVP. We got to go from minimally viable product, right, that's getting you appointments, to the most valuable product in the space. And that will take us, that's going to be a journey that will never stop. It's constantly going to get better, because that machine learning and that language model, right, is constantly going to be getting better. So again, like, this is absolutely incredible what G and Gabe and Barry and our entire tech and product team have done, as I've watched this go from, an AI sort of sounding voice with some lag in it and talking over clients, to where it is today. I'm always thinking about, not like, okay, where is it today? Like, don't think of it like, where is this today? Think about, like, oh my God, how fast has this gotten so good? Where is this going to be in 2 months? Where is this going to be in 4 months? Right? And you guys that are on this call, out of, like, 1.5 million agents, the 100 people on this call get to be, like, in the lab, the first to have this cutting edge stuff. It's really freaking cool.
Awesome. So anyways, we've talked all about this: voice quality, best practice scriptings, algorithm-based dialing. We're working all of your priority Ylopo signals, and it's a transparent automated call transfer. That's the last thing I will address. So what's going to happen is, you're going to put all of your Ylopo leads into a pond that you want us to work, right? You're going to assign the agents to the pond. When we do a transfer, we're going to transfer it to your FUB phone number. It's going to ring your agents. First person that picks it up, they're going to transfer that call over, and then it's going to take the lead out of the pond and drop it to that agent, right? That is the ideal handoff, right? So agent knows who the lead is that's coming to them. They don't have to go search for the lead afterwards. It's all connected on a string, right? So this is the bridge, right? We're doing, we had Ylopo Live Call Center. We have the Human Assisted AI Center. And in the next 3 to 6 months, as we get the AI trained better and better, we're going to full AI, which is going to result in more calls and cheaper costs for you guys as well. So let me get to the pricing real fast, because this is obviously cornerstone of this as well. While we believe the quality of this product is significantly better than the market or other third-party ISA services that you can purchase, etc., because of all the reasons that you just saw, because it is AI, we are able to price it significantly lower, orders of magnitude lower than what is out there for you to buy, and also what you're able to pay for yourself, right? For our level 1 clients, and you have to be a level 1 because we need you to have a certain number of leads for the AI to work, right? It is only $250. right? So you have to obviously have RAIYA texting to have RAIYA Voice because we're triggering off the text messages. But RAIYA Voice is only $250, and then it goes up by levels, right? That breaks down to $2 to $2.50 per lead. That's it, right? $2 to $2.50 per lead. And we're calling that lead over 30 days. Quality Connect takes about 7 calls. We're obviously calling more than that, right? And we have some exclusive offers for our clients to increase their media budget in order to get more leads, which we can then call and work further, right? So that's the pricing for RAIYA Voice. It is going to be eventually available at the Tech Plus and starter level, but currently we are only taking level 1 and above. And so you do need to upgrade to a level 1 license in order to leverage Ylopo Voice. And again, the reason for that is because we want you to have enough leads in the pipeline for us to actually work to see all of the results, right? So if you're ready to sign up, for this, either scan this QR code right now or visit ylopo.com/voice-signup. We'll include this link in the chat as well. And the QR code is on every page going forward. So you can sign up here. We'll email you after this, obviously, give you the link again. But I highly encourage you to sign up right now because we do have a long wait list. I think we already have like 350 clients slated on our go live list. And so the sooner you sign up, the sooner you go live, you're in our queue. Our goal is to try to get all of you guys live by the end of the year or at least January. But as we go down the list, of our registrants, it's kind of first come, first serve basis, right?
And
so go ahead.
Well, if someone is on Tech Plus or Starter and they need to go to level 1, it might help in making the decision for them to know what level 1 costs. I don't want to misspeak. I always get the pricing wrong. Do you know offhand what level 1 costs?
Yeah, I think level 1 is a $400 tech fee increase. On a starter, I forgot what, maybe a little more than that for Tech Plus. But you're also spending media dollars, obviously, to generate those leads. But our Ylopo cost is only $400.
Okay, so then when they sign up, someone's going to reach out and go over that with them. Then
100%.
Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
Yeah, Megan and her team will reach out and go over all of that with you guys and get you guys signed up as well.
Great.
So let me get tactical, right? How does RAIYA Voice work, right? So first off, RAIYA Voice is going to activate right now today in Q4 on your Ylopo new leads. These are new leads generated from Ylopo. That's why you have to be on level 1 above, because we're generating leads for you at those levels, right? And the reason for that is compliance. We are looking ahead 3 to 5 years on regulatory, on communication with bots. As you can imagine, if we're doing it, a lot of other people are going to do it as well. And we want to make sure we're totally above board on this throughout, right? That's why you heard on the recordings, we say we are a digital assistant for the agent, right? We're identifying ourselves. If someone asks, are you an AI? We say, yes, we are an AI built by Barry Jenkins specifically to help you with your real estate, right? We are, not hiding the fact that we're not human, right? And so we needed to make sure all of our website compliance was correct. And that's why it's working off of new leads. We are right now auditing third-party partners like a Zillow or a Realtor.com or a ZBuyer, et cetera, to see which sources we can text or call. And the sources that we can't call, we are going to go back to them and say, here are the alterations to your privacy policy and your TCPA language to allow us to do so, right? So I'd say end of this quarter, basically starting January, we will be able to work your third-party leads. And then, by the end of Q1, our goal is to activate this and set it loose on your entire database, right? It's not just new leads. It's not just third party. It's your entire database, right? And we're doing this for Barry and Gabe right now. And it's just crazy how many appointments you tease out from people that haven't even done anything on your website, right? You think they're like dead, and then you call them and it's like, oh, you just caught me at the right time, right? I mean, the theory behind AI is calling used to take up resources, right? It was dollars, right? Because agents had to spend time doing it, right? With AI, calling is a fractional price, right? Like it's an infinite resource, essentially, right? So then you just call more, you call, you're persistent until you get these people on the phone, right? Or via text, right? And that's what we're going to activate on your entire database going forward.
And G, just to point out there where our testing is, it's not even just that it's a fraction of the price, it's also more consistent, right? So it's now happening more and more. And I'm glad you got to touch on that, because there were a bunch of questions asking about the digital assistant part and third-party leads, and didn't answer it intentionally because I knew these slides were coming up. But as we saw, I was curious what was going to happen saying that digital assistant at the beginning. I don't think we saw any difference. In fact, and we don't have time to play all the different recordings. I think Howard has this in one of his presentations, but one in my database, full on conversation, set the appointment. And at the end, when she thanks him, he responds back, "Thank you, you were great AI." He knew the entire time, still had the conversation because the right questions were being asked, and set the appointment. So it will become known, and there's no need to jeopardize or risk clients by not having the proper disclosures in place.
Yeah, look, the other thing is, so I'm going up to Canada next week, going to be on stage talking about this very topic. And I've sliced in a new scene from the movie Her, because there's a great 4-minute scene. Now I've chopped it down to like a minute 45, but there's a really important scene in that movie where the consumer, starts off the call as he's being introduced to, basically his AI digital assistant for the first time. And he's very uncomfortable. He's extremely uncomfortable. And literally in less than 2 minutes, he just ends up just starting to laugh with her, and she's organizing his life. And that's where this is all eventually going, by the way. And we're going to be on the front lines of this. Like, we are going to provide at some point, we're not here today, a 24/7 real estate specific digital assistant who's got intuition. Because think about, like, Gabe, like, well, so anyway, the point is like people are going to be in this uncomfortable stage for a second, but it's good. It's not going to last that long. Like, this is just going to become normal, and we're going to be so used to it, right? Like the transition from rotary phones to cell phones, like that's it. You're just going to be used to it. And if it makes your life easier, and you get all the information, and you can understand the speaker, and you don't have to wait on hold for an hour, and you can get immediate information in this day of immediacy. Like, we all want our Uber Eats in less than 10 minutes, and we all want our Instacart groceries without leaving the house. I'm telling you, this is the future. And we want to be, that's the whole point of Ylopo, right? The future of digital marketing. We're on the future, the cutting edge of the future, and our clients, therefore, are on the cutting edge of the future, getting it first. So I think, but we also want to be really compliant, right? We are spending a gazillion legal dollars with the best compliance attorneys in the space. And if it says, hey, you got to put an AI imprint on something, we'll do that. If you've got to say, you're a digital assistant or a virtual assistant, we'll do that. But nowadays, what does that even mean, right? It's clearly every Ylopo lead, whole new terms of service, like every Ylopo lead that's registered, that is registered, is agreeing to this stuff. Like, that's absolutely critical. We need to be compliant. We need to play by the rules. And if at the end of the day, it becomes law that you've got to have the ability for a consumer to press a button and it goes to a human, we'll have that. Like, we will have that. There's no gray area for us. It's black and white, what we're allowed to do and what we're not allowed to do. But yeah, I'm telling you, like, ultimately where this is going, I know it's pretty scary for a lot of folks, but I just think our brains have a very, very limited, right? Our brains are very limited in terms of what we can remember. There's only a finite amount of mass here of what we can remember to do and what we're capable of doing. But AI, it's unlimited. It's unlimited and can start doing all these things for us and saving us a shitload of time, and even eventually having intuition to remind us, tap us on the shoulder, hey guys, you have to do this right now. This is really important. This is a piece of business you can go get right now.
Awesome. So
Barry, you're on mute.
Oh, I am?
Yep, you were. Now you're not.
Oh,
yeah.
interesting.
Anyways,
I was
RAIYA Voice. Oh, go ahead.
No. Well, Howard inspired me. Sorry, G. All I was going to say is that this is the robot is, instead of spending all day to find 2 humans that want to talk to my agent, now my agents can spend all day working the 2 people that the robot found to talk to. So instead of hindering human to human contact, what this is doing is it's actually allowing a deeper and more meaningful human-to-human contact. And so, while our minds are limited, the amount we can care for others is unlimited. And so having the robot think for us in certain areas of our career allows us to do what only we can, which is care about these people in our markets. So this is a no-brainer. Sorry, I won't interrupt you anymore. Promise.
Oh, no problem. No problem. So we're seeing the first 30 days, 28% connection rate, meaning we get them on the phone. It's a quality connect. 8% callback scheduled, meaning those people ask for an appointment, right? They want scheduled callback. And by the way, we drop that into your CRM, but then we call those people at the scheduled times, right? So if someone says, hey, call me back tomorrow at 5 p.m., we call them back for you at 5 p.m. and we call them 5 times afterwards if they don't pick up to transfer them. So our goal entirely is to get you guys live transfer, right? And 5% on the spot ready for live transfer over to you guys. So 13% of the 28%, almost 50% of conversations we end up transferring or setting an appointment for you on. So all RAIYA Voice activates on one FUB pond. So you're going to drop all of your Ylopo leads into a FUB pond, and we're going to work those leads there. Once a lead leaves the pond, we stop calling. If a lead goes back in the pond, we start calling again, right? So just be aware that's the movement that's happening, and we're trying to make that as seamless as possible. Call pickup, someone picking up the call will trigger a lead distribution, right? So as soon as the call gets picked up by the agent, we send the lead to the agent. It comes out of the pond. The agent has the ability, if it's a hang up or a click, to reassign that lead back to the pond, and then we're going to go persistent, chase that lead down again. When could clients go live? We already have, this is old, 350 clients on our go live wait list. We are starting that go live as of yesterday. We started taking clients live, and our goal is to get, all of our clients live that sign up by the end of the year, at the very least, first beginning part of January. So I would just join the wait list as soon as possible so we can get you live as soon as we can, because I know this technology is going to help you guys so much. I won't belabor this point, but there's going to be a whole setup process to make sure that you are ready to go. We are charging a $250 setup fee just because there's so much work involved in setting you up. That is a one-time fee that we charge you. We are going to go through a whole checklist. Our team is going to handhold you through this process, and we're going to set everything up for you, right? Like, we're going to follow boss. We're setting everything up for you. So rollout plan, RAIYA Voice for new leads right now, early Q1, third-party leads, end of Q1 database, right? We're going to work all of those leads by the end of Q1. So we're doing everything, on that front. And our goal is you change your team practices from a outbound dialing team to a live transfer appointment team, right? That's the goal. We're going to do it all for you. This is just the beginning, and you're going to see this starting really in Q1 as we roll out here. The power of RAIYA Voice is that it's not just voice. First off, there's already texting, right? But it's going to function off of all of the engagement happening within the Ylopo ecosystem. So website, someone engages the website, then we email them, we reach out to them through remarketing, we text and chat with them, and then, they do a voice call, right? So think of this consumer stack. Consumer opens a listing alert. They come to your website. They favorite a listing on your website, right? AI will text that consumer right away. Hey, do you want to go see that property? The consumer replies, yes. The AI sets the appointment, immediate live transfer to the agent, right? So this is how all of these different technologies are going to play in the ecosystem. It's not just disparate technology sources or technologies. And this is what is unique about Ylopo, right? We're constantly thinking about omni-channel ecosystem, right? And so, other players in this space, like, we're not the only ones who are going to come out with a RAIYA Voice type technology, but they're only going to be able to do one thing. They're blind to everything else that's happening, right? When you're with Ylopo, when you use this technology, it's going to function off of all of the data we collect. And by the way, it's not just going to work off of Ylopo data, it's going to work off of your follow boss data, right? And so if you have another technology like a Rooster that's pushing in data into the system, we're going to be able to read that and react to it as well, right? So it's kind of all of the omni-channel signals coming into the system, us acting on the systems in concert between you know, website activity, you know, marketing technology, texting, and voice. So this sales bot is just the beginning of the waterfall for what we call our AI digital assistant, right? You know, we wanted to master the hardest part of AI voice, which is outbound sales scenario, right? That's when you have to be the most human mimicking possible. And then we're going to go down what we think are the easy things, right? Inbound phone number calling, your receptionist, sign calls. When someone calls in a sign, they say, what's the property tax on this property? AI is going to know. Human beings not going to know, right? Showing coordination. We're going to integrate with showing time. We're going to help you schedule all of your showings. Transaction management tasks, manage your agents. Like Barry and Gabe have a list a mile long for me, right? That we're working on, you know, but our goal is to have a full-on AI digital assistant that's going to not just work your leads, but also, you know, be your live assistant for a tiny fraction of what you're doing now, spending your time and paying your staff for. So thank you once again, being a trusted partner here. You guys are at the very forefront, right? Like no one else in the industry has released this anything close, and you guys are the first to see it, but you're also the first guys to, you know, test this out, right? And so I'm very proud of every client that is jumping into the abyss with us, so to speak, to make this better and to work through this. You guys saw it with RAIYA Text. You know, it was already good when it got released, and it just got better and better and better and better, right? This is the same thing that's going to happen with RAIYA Voice. But if you think this is the future for your business, you're excited about this, start this journey now, right? Because you got to get used to AI. It's a rhythm. It's a different part of your business. And so the sooner you get started with Ylopo New Leads, you're going to be ready for when it hits your third party and your database.
All right, G, you should probably review some. G, you should probably review some of the questions that have answered the last few ones. The last question was something that G already talked about. Do we know how many appointments a month we should expect? So, you know, of all the calls that, let's say for every 100 calls that we're making, 28% will result in a conversation, an AI conversation. Of those 100 calls, we're going to get 13% to either be a live transfer or an appointment. And if it's an appointment, then AI voice will be AI voice, right? The AI voice will call back just to make sure that it actually gets then live transferred. So those are the stats, right? So apply that to 1,000, 10,000, whatever. Where I get really excited is right now it's just the new leads, but what I get really excited is when you're able to unleash this on your entire database. That's when I think it's the full contact sport, right? On your entire database forever. And, you know, when important signal or trigger happens, right, they can get that AI voice call no matter how busy you are. Someone had asked earlier, is this intended to replace your ISA? It's interesting. I've talked to a bunch of clients, and maybe Gabe and Barry can comment on this. You know, for a lot of clients, they're like we already fired our, like I was talking to a client yesterday, like we fired our ISAs, right? So it's not even they're going to replace them. Like we're looking for a replacement, and this is perfect timing. Yeah. For others, like if you have an ISA, I would think if you have an ISA who's just amazing, 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 I think this could, you know, these calls could get routed to your amazing, amazing, amazing ISA and not necessarily replace them, right? So I think that's kind of like a personal decision on what you kind of want to do. I don't know, Gabe, Barry, you guys want to comment on that?
Well, I mean, there's lots of gaps in all of our businesses. If the ISA is competent and we can be cross-trained to help cover other aspects of my business, like, for example, taking appointments, scheduling appointments, and knowing how to do that with my agents, that's a huge efficiency play. So I think that's great.
Yeah, I think it's going to change how many we have, right? Because we just literally started with one yesterday, but I've had to hire more to do a lot of the cold inactive. Will I have to have as many? Probably not. But do I have some key ones I'm going to keep? Absolutely, because they can take some of these, you know, we're already talking about the transfers of the appointments, but this is also going to service a lot of real people that didn't result in an appointment or transfer yet, And now if I do have some remaining ISAs, I can have them additionally focus on that versus doing a lot of the other chasing of the cold inactive as we get third-party existing databases. So I'll still see a need for some in my business, but you know, not as many. And if I don't have to hire as many and train as many and, you know, replace it, that's a good thing for my business, right? If I'm just looking at the numbers and the business side of it.
Awesome. G, did you want to answer any of the questions publicly that came in?
Yeah. So we are working on integration with Sierra. I am talking to them tomorrow about what we need to do. So I would expect probably in the next couple of months, you know, we will integrate with Sierra, Chime, other CRMs as well. So we're actively working on that. You know, in terms of how many calls a month does AI voice call, rough number per level, which is about 100 leads in the 30 days, we'll call about 1,000 times, right?
I think their question though was more like, am I buying a certain number of calls per license level? Like
no.
Yeah.
You're just paying $250 flat. You know, however many leads it is, we're going to work from for you.
Yeah.
On average level, one client's about 100 leads. You get about 1,000 phone calls for that.
Well, Howard was going over some stats, and he, you know, that you had just gone over 37% or 30-something% conversations, 13% appointments. Roughly, that sounds like 3 to 4 people out of 100. And my agents get 1 to 2, just so you know. So that's,
well, I mean, 13% is 13 out of 100.
Oh, 13 out of 100. Okay, well, my agents get about 1 to 2.
Yeah. So 28. Yeah. 28 out of the 100 we're gonna have conversations with, right? 13 out of the 100 will be either live transfer or appointment. And if it's an appointment, then we're still going to call them to get the live transfer, right?
Right.
So I'm kind of blown away by the numbers, but like that's what we're seeing.
It's just
and that's across all clients, right? So you know, not like one client might do a little bit better than that, one client might do a little bit worse than that, but that's across all clients.
Yeah.
You know, so you know, someone asked the uncomfortable question, you know, how will FilePlus being acquired affect this? So we have a huge webinar. We want everyone to join us tomorrow, an emergency all hands, you know, webinar tomorrow, which is all on this topic. So I don't want to kind of belabor it here. You know, I talk to Dan, you know, founder of FilePlus, you know, every day, you know, and you know, I just think that they are going to remain, you know, a critical partner for us. And I think they're going to get a lot more resources. I think they're actually going to get better. They're going to get bigger. If there's just a lot of people in a lot of different camps, right? A lot of people, most people are probably in the, you know, hey, let's wait and see what happens kind of thing. Other people are in the, you know, yep, I think it's just going to get better and I'm sticking with it. Other people are, you know, hell no, there's no way, I'm going to stick with it. And you know, that's not my job. Like that's a personal decision for you guys. And if you tell us, yeah, we love Ylopo and we want to stick with Ylopo and there's just no way we can, you know, see ourselves sticking with, you know, FUB because now they're owned by Zillow, we will help you. Like we'll help you. It's not what we recommend. We clearly, absolutely recommend that you take a deep breath and that you stay with the world's best CRM, which is FilePlus. That's absolutely what we're recommending because it also has absolutely the best integration with Ylopo. And right now in challenging times, this is about you guys doing more deals. That's it. This is about you guys making more money and doing more deals. And I am telling you to do more deals, you stick with the Ylopo FilePlus integration. But again, it's not my job to argue with you about like your personal stance. I respect your stance. I respect your stance and your feeling and your opinion. And, you know, if you, you know, take our advice, then great. If you don't, we'll help you. We're here to help you either way. This is going to be your decision.
Awesome. Well, we're at the hour here, kept this very tight. Again, you know, sign up at ylopo.com/RAIYA. I've already forgotten the URL, RAIYA Voice, a voice sign up. I will flash this on the screen one more time right here. We will send out the recording and we will send you email with more details. But looking forward to trying this out with all of you guys and getting you on board. Thank you.
Guys, thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Bye,
everyone. Bye.